When you're ready to print your document, you can use Microsoft Word's print settings to customize your print job. Choose File to go backstage, and then select Print. In the previous movie, we set the number of copies and chose a specific printer. The print settings below control what you want to print, whether it should be printed single-sided or double-sided, how multi-page documents should be assembled, the orientation of your paper, paper size, margins, and the number of pages that should be printed on each sheet of paper. Let's take a look first at the print area. The default choice is to print all the pages. However, if we wanted to print just 2 paragraphs from page 5, we could select those paragraphs, then come backstage and choose Print Selection. We can print only the current page. It's helpful to know what page you're on, but if you haven't changed what you're seeing in the preview, this is the current page. You can also move to a different page and print a different page. So now my current page is page 5, and I can still print the current page. I can print a custom range of pages. If I do that, I'll be using this dialog box. If I wanted to print, for example, pages 1 through 7, I could go 1-7, and that would print 1 through 7. But let's say I wanted to print pages 1 through 5, skip 6, and print 7. That would look like this: 1-5, dash for the word through, comma, 7. We'll print 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7. I can also print different attributes. I can, for example, say that I want to print just the properties of the document, the items that you see when you have info chosen backstage. If I have people reviewing a document, I can print markup. I can get an inventory of different elements of the document. And then finally, I can print only the odd pages or only the even pages in the document. And this has to do with how you might think about turning a stack of paper over in order to print the opposite side in a printer that only prints one side at a time. This is one way people handle wanting to print 2 sides of a page, which is called duplex, on a printer that can only handle one-sided printing or simplex printing. So I'm going to return this to print all pages. Here is my print one-sided, print both-sided. Now, my choice is that I can print manually on both sides, which means I'm going to print all of the pages on one side, and then I'm going to go over to my printer, turn the pages over, line them all up, put them back in the feed, and print the second side. I don't have a choice here that says print on both sides automatically, which means that this printer can't do that for me. This is a one-sided printer. Another choice that you might see is automatically print on both sides. My next option is, what do I do with this really large print job? I have 24 pages. Let's say that I want to print 5 copies to distribute these at a new employee orientation. If I choose collated, then I will get 5 sets, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 through 24. If I choose uncollated, I'll get 5 copies of page 1, followed by 5 copies of page 2, followed by 5 copies of page 3. Good for handouts, but not good for an employee manual. The default here is collated. If you want a print job where you want the pages to be in separate piles when you're all done, you'll want to change this setting. This is my paper orientation. Currently, my paper is in portrait mode. Look what happens when I change to landscape. My preview changes, and now on my 8.5 by 11 paper, the 11-inch is the way that the text is oriented. I can change this here. I can also change this, as you'll find out later, on the Page Layout tab. If I change it here, it will be changed in that location as well. This is where I choose my paper size. Am I printing this on the default letter paper, on legal paper, on some of the A-size papers, which are more commonly used in Europe than in the United States? Here's my tabloid paper. I want to print envelopes, and so we're going to choose a particular paper. If I choose legal paper, notice that my preview changes. Now I only have 20 pages of text to print, and I'm on much longer paper that won't fit in most of the binders that we have kicking around the office. So we'll change back to letter. Margins, which I can also set on the Page Layout tab, are set here as well, so I can actually see my preview as I change my margins. The default margins, normal, are 1 inch all the way around. In previous versions of Microsoft Word, they actually left more room on the left and the right, 1 1/4 inch margins, and you'll notice as I make that choice, my preview on the right changes, my page count changes. This document's a little longer if I have wider margins. Or I could choose narrower margins. print this on less pages, but clearly now I have a document that it would be really hard to 3-hole punch and put in a binder. Whatever choices I make here are also going to be reflected on the page layout tab as well as in my preview. And finally, I can print multiple copies on a page. So I could have a document that I want people to have in their hands, but I could print this 2 up, 4 up, 6 up, or 2 pages per sheet, 4 pages per sheet, 6 pages per sheet. So for example, if I just want to create this document and say I'd like to print 2 pages per sheet, then on every page of paper in the printer, this will be managed by the printer, it will print 1 and 2 on one page, 3 and 4 on the next, and so on, so that I can have a smaller size. There are people who use this style of printing for documents that they want to review. Those folks have very good eyes, and it's a nice size. It cuts the amount of paper you have to carry around in half to do quick overviews of documents, for example, while you're traveling. The default, however, here is 1 page per sheet. All of these print settings are stored with the document. So if I change these settings, the next time I print this document, the print range, what I'm printing, the margins, the paper size, and the other settings will still be set. So I don't have to worry about doing this each time I print the document. I can do it once, backstage, save those settings, and be able to print this document in the same fashion each time I print it.